Welcome, everybody, to the Hounds podcast. This is your home for field trialing and deer dog hunting. It'll be stories and discussions on the world of dog hunting. So let's drop the gate, cast your hounds, and get ready for another episode of the Hounds podcast. The Hounds podcast is proud to partner with Outdoor Dog Supply again for the 2025 season. Outdoor Dog Supply is the leader in online garment sales with their world-class trade-in programs. These guys are not just a business, they're also houndsmen and women too. They test their products out in the field and really put them to the test. Get the latest in garment equipment, stay locked and ready with field trial equipment, collars, leashes, and so much more. Visit their website today at outdoordogsupply.com, and we want to thank Outdoor Dog Supply for their support not only for the podcast, but in the field trials across the country. When you're looking for your next purchase and equipment, keep Outdoor Dog Supply in mind. Now let's get this episode started, guys. Thank y'all so much. Welcome, everybody, to the Hounds podcast. On this episode, we got a little bit of a... we're gonna kind of wing it on this one. We are in the middle of getting some recording set up. I do apologize for that. I thought we were going to be able to knock this one out here pretty soon this week, but we had some stuff come up. Just a lot of things were happening. It's a very busy week, as most of you know that are following the page, following the podcast and the series. That is the first round of the Hounds Pin Series. It starts this weekend. So it's been a lot of planning, a lot of organizing, getting all that kind of stuff together. So needless to say, I've been very busy and trying to get everything ready, get everything set. Still trying to keep it all straight, guys. It's definitely a lot of work, and we're going to try to make the best show we can possibly put on. So we're going to start off this episode just like we've been doing. Again, we're going to finish out. I think this is going to be the last one that is specifically focused on men's mental health. And this one is, I really appreciate this one. I mean, it says, the strongest people are the ones that win battles that we know nothing about. I didn't have an author or a quote behind that, so I just saw that one and really liked it. And then this is our Bible verse for the week. It comes from 1 Corinthians 16:13. Be watchful, stand firm in faith, act like men, and be strong. Simple as that, guys. I thought those two really kind of went hand in hand, and hope that spoke to somebody. So if you haven't been really kind of keeping up with it a little bit, and you probably noticed as you clicked on this episode, this is episode 100. That is incredible. I never imagined kind of where this would take us. It was something that just kind of was a wild hair from the beginning, and I was like, man, it'd be kind of cool to get this going, and then all of a sudden it took off, and on from there, man. So in this episode, I just want to kind of take a few seconds and, I just want to go over just the journey that we've been on through this. And I just want to say thank y'all to everybody. Everybody has been so amazing with this whole thing. It's nothing but love and support everywhere I go. Y'all really make it worth it in the end. I know there's a lot of room for improvement still, and I hope as we continue to grow and continue to make this thing happen that we can continue to make it better and better and better. I know I'm still trying to find a balance with life and work and the podcast and dogs and judging and the series and all that kind of stuff. So I know sometimes we kind of slack up a little bit, but for the most part, man, it's been such just an incredible ride. So I kind of wanted to take this episode, like I said, I want to go through just from start to finish on some of my favorite ones. I know early episodes, when it was me and Daniel Evans and Dylan Watson, when we first got this thing started, we, it was one of my favorite ones was with Dennis Scott. Dennis has been a good friend of mine since getting into the dogs. He's known my family for a long time, probably most of his life, honestly. Hunted with my grandpa back in the day. Some great stories to go back and listen to on that one. That was, like I said, it's one of my absolute favorites. That's episode 6. If you got time to go back and listen to one and looking for a good one, these are all going to be great episodes that I surely enjoyed recording, and sometimes I can even go back and really listen to them my own self. Another good one, this is one of my more popular ones with a buddy of mine, Brad Keefe. He went deep into some collar training, how he likes to collar train, along with some of his military background. Some great stuff in there. It's a great listen. Then, of course, we took a big break. My son was born right around that time, and my wife was pregnant, and then later my son was born, so just could not make it work. It just didn't make sense to keep going at that point. We took over a 2-year hiatus, and when we come back, I took over by myself, and man, it's been on since then. It's been incredible. It's been, like I said, I just could not thank everybody enough. But the first one back was with Mr. Brett Clybourne, which was an absolute honor. Him and his family, his whole family, was they're just some of the nicest people you'll ever meet. They're fun to be around. And Dad is Mr. Vince Clybourne is a legend in the Hall of Fame, and it's been that one was a real honor. A lot of good stories in that one. That's episode 20. If you got time to go back and listen to that one as well. Then right after that, man, my good buddy, Mr. Bobby Parker, man, that one was so much fun. Got to show the White Dog love. Ever since I met Mr. Bobby Parker at the Dismal Swap a couple years ago, we've always been good friends since then. That was a great listen for those that haven't done it. Let's see, another cool one that it was really neat, and I wouldn't have the opportunity to know these people and talk to these people, was Mr. Carson Robertson. If you've heard the song Dog Tight or A Dog's Gonna Hunt, he's the artist behind those, houndsman himself. That one's a real good pleasure to listen to, and I still keep in great talks with him. Then I would say probably the first older generation. Well, other than Mr. Bobby, I forgot about Mr. Bobby. It was really cool to get another older generation to come on here, and that was Mr. Randy Frazier. That was episode 28. That one was so much fun. So much fun. It was an honor to talk to him. Great stories. Listening to how he was brought up and going through all of that. I'm telling y'all that one's one to go back and listen to. Let's see. One of my biggest hits for the longest time, J-Mo, John Molnar. There's 2 episodes. We recorded for a couple hours when me and him sat down and recorded, and that's a real fun listen to if you do get the chance to go back. Then probably I need to go back and find out. I wonder if I can look at that real quick. The most popular episode. Let's see. Just trying to find what is the most popular episode. And I'd be willing to guess that if it's not, he's probably pretty close. I would say Mr. Ben Gaskin's episode. If you have not listened to that episode, it is 110% worth going back and listen to. That's episode 73, Ben Gaskins. He goes over puppy health and what should be happening with your dogs to get them ready to take to a breaking pen. That's an excellent listen. That's probably one of the top feedbacks that I've ever had. Yep, it still is. It still is the most popular episode. 110% worth the listen to go back and listen to that one, guys. That was another good one, man. That's 2 back-to-backs. I'm gonna venture to say these are probably 2 future if they continue to stick with it. These are younger generation guys that are making an impact on the sport in many ways. They're not only field trialing, they're also helping with field trials. They're putting on hunts, they're mastering hunts, and that is two good friends of mine, Clint Thompson and Sky Scott. Episode 39 and 40, 110% worth to listen to. Daggone, man. And then right back behind it, man, Old School Kennels. And remembering Donald, that one was fun. It was the first sit-down record that I got to do with a group. That's episode 41, 110% worth the listen. Daggone, man. Then right after that, episode 42, Hall of Famers, Clyde Sutton and Jody Duvall, two of the most active judges that devote so much time to the sport and don't ask for anything in return. That's 110% worth the listen. I never thought that episode got the traction that it deserved. That was another sit-down episode. I got to record with him at the hotel one night, and it was it surely was a lot of fun. Man, there's so many good ones. Colby Taylor right after that. Then my buddy Peyton Lucy. That's episode 49 and 50. Two great listens. A lot of good stories behind that one. Man, you want to talk about one of my favorite ones. I got Jay Bird McGee to come down to the house one day, and we sat on a front porch and told stories and got to listen to his Hall of Fame cross. That's episode 54. 110% worth going back and listening to, guys. Let's see, man. So many good ones. The Le Bonheur Children's Hospital hunt, episode 61. It's a great listen. Tyler Mullins, another one, continues on the path that he's going. I have no reason to doubt that he won't be a future Hall of Famer in this sport. Of course, we got a long way to go from there. We're still young, so hopefully, if that comes to him, we got a long way to go. Me and him went to school together and graduated together, so it's a great one. Man, let's see. Gosh, there's so much cool stuff. Got to talk with the guys from Cold Strike, Dustin from Cold Strike. That was a great episode. Episode 75, sitting down with Demo, talking with Demo on the pen. Mr. Billy Poole was on himself. So much good stuff in that episode. That's episode 75, and all my dear guys. Mr. Tony Davis, the Buck Assassin, probably the one of the bigger names that you'll see as far as social media goes. Great conversations with him, absolutely enjoyable. Then we get back into this year, starting with episode 81 with Mr. Dylan Chapman. On the tear that he's been over the past 2 years, with Boaz, that's 110%. You need to go listen to that one, and then two back-to-backs that absolutely enjoyed. 85 was Joey Fowler, and then 86 was Benjamin and Paul Caskey. Two great back-to-back episodes, a lot of good education in that, a lot of good knowledge in that. And here lately, Mr. Paul West with Lake Hill Kennels. That one's been one of my favorite ones. That was probably the last big episodes that I got coming down the pipe. Well, that I had, that has been produced. Absolute joy. So, guys, just thank y'all so much. I want to thank everybody for listening. We are just to give y'all some stats. On Spotify alone, we're at 62,000 downloads. See if I can pull it up on my phone real quick. This other app gives me my actual full-on data. So across all platforms, except for YouTube, I did notice that it doesn't count YouTube's 82,000 downloads, and then if you include YouTube's, that's adding another 27,000. So we're over 100,000 downloads, guys. We're at 100 episodes. It's been a real honor, a real pleasure. I hope that we can continue to make this thing happen for everybody, guys. And I just can't thank y'all enough. I really cannot thank y'all enough. Thank you to everybody that's been a part of this. I got to give some big shout outs. Occasion Lights, they've been a huge partner. Outdoor Dog Supply, of course. They've been backing me for a while now. Big thank you to those guys. Got to give an old shout out to Miss Roxy Bowie. Can never remember how to say her name. Sorry if you're listening. But with Roxy Designs, she's not doing her stuff no more. But she was she created the logos, man. She was a huge part of this. Cannot thank her enough. Then, of course, we've got newer partners, with Low 10 Outfitters, Elite Nutrition. Elite's been a huge game changer here coming in. Southern Hound Hunting Magazine, Chestnut Mountain Feed. Just so many people that have been directly involved with the podcast. I cannot thank y'all enough. But episode 100 here, guys. It's not what I was hoping, but I gave y'all what I could. Sorry. So we've been busy, but we're going to keep on. I had to kind of come back and edit this part in. I actually was so busy this evening that I forgot all about it even being episode 100. So we're going to stick this into the episode, and y'all enjoy the rest of this episode. Thank y'all so much, guys. So we're going to talk about a few different things here. First off, we've already mentioned it, so let's kind of talk about that first. The Pin Series does kick off this year, the Hounds Tales Pin Series. It will be starting off at Double C this weekend. I will be there. Let's see. I'm planning on being there probably somewhere around 3-ish, but I will not start registration probably till 3:30. I've got an 80 dog limit down there, so we are probably going to just probably shouldn't take more than an hour to do registration, but roll call will be at 4:45. So registration, you need to have your hounds registered by 4:40. If you're not registered by 4:40, you will be FA'd. If you've not made it there or gave me some kind of heads up to get your name and number called for the roll call, you will be FA'd. That is a heads up. I will make a post about it as well, and I stand firm behind that. So just keep that in mind as you're planning your trip down there. And also on the Pin Series, the money is due this Saturday for Hollywood. If you're listening and you got numbers and you have not paid, get with me, please. I need to try to do a little bit better job about notifying everybody and keeping that stuff posted on the Facebook so everybody remembers. But it also does kind of fall in your hands as well. Y'all have seen it. Y'all should know by now. It's 2 weeks before the hunt, and that's the last day. So keep that in mind for all the rest of the hunts coming. I'll be working on Stony Creek numbers here. Probably I'm going to try to get started on some of it this week. If not, it will be definitely next week. And we'll get to rolling on that. So that's really all the announcements. I might have some cool stuff coming for the Pin Series. I'm not trying to get ahead of myself here, but might be some other stuff coming down the pipe. We're waiting to kind of get us an answer on some other stuff, so we will let y'all know if that does come about. The Hounds Tales podcast would like to take a minute and talk about our friends over at Cajun Lights. When pleasure running at night or judging those nighttime field trials, you can put your trust in Cajun Lights. With the economical Cajun Bayou for the every now and then light user, the Cajun Micro for the nighttime feeds and around the house times, then the top level Cajun Blinder for those hardcore crossing getters at night. The Cajun Lights are headlamp style light that free up your hands for voice recorders or your GPS. They offer flood style lights in red, amber, and a white walking light. Then the top of the line 4-level main beam light. If you're having a hard time catching crossings at night, give the Cajun Light a try. And the red and amber setting to catch the game without distracting them, and with the easy flick of a switch, go back to your main beam light to catch your hounds in action and get those numbers. Visit their website today at CajunLights.com, and at the checkout, make sure you fill out the survey after your purchase and select Hounds Tales Podcast to receive 5% off your next purchase with Cajun Lights. Now, let's get back to the episode. So, one thing I do want to talk about, and I think it's worth saying. The Master Fox made a post earlier this week, talking about some of the rules. And the funny thing is they're not a new rule. It's not a change in rules. It's not a mid-season update of the rules. It is a previous rules that are being reiterated. And I hope people don't look too far into this. I don't know if something happened, I doubt it, that made them make this post, but I'm going to read it how they had it posted, just as a reminder and to help spread the word. This is an important reminder regarding score entry procedures as outlined in the Masters Rulebook. Please review carefully Article 2. General Rules Entries, Rule number 6, to ensure full compliance. The individual inputting data in the Master Fox scoring program at any affiliated hunts must adhere to the following. A. They must not be affiliated with any hunt participants and may enter scores alone. Or they must be accompanied by two other judges while entering scores. Or they must wait until the hunt is officially called off before entering scores and must be in the presence of the Master of Hounds or a designated judge. This rule is crucial to maintaining fairness and transparency in all affiliated hunts. We ask that all field secretaries and affiliated associations follow these guidelines exactly as the rule is written. The rule is critical to maintain a fairness, blah, blah, blah. We said that, sorry. Effective July 1st, 2025, any association found in violation of this rule will not receive points towards any points race. So, keep that in mind. I fully support this rule. Like I said, it's not a new rule. It's a rule that has been in play. And the reason I bring this up is because this post got so much negativity and backlash. It blew my mind. It absolutely blew my mind. This is a rule I don't understand when associations or series or whatever it is make a rule to try to improve the hunts. They try to change something for the better. And honestly, like a rule like this, if you're not cheating, then it shouldn't bother you. If you're not having somebody change the points up for you, then why does it bother you? Maybe people don't read the ors in between them. This is not saying that you have to wait till after the hunt's over. This is not saying that you have to be accompanied by two judges or the Master of Hounds. The first one legit says, as long as you're not affiliated, i.e. a family member or a kennel partner, as long as you're not affiliated with anybody in the any of the hunt participants, you may enter the scores alone. So go around and pick them up at halftime. Enter the scores, enter it, have it done. Nothing changes. Absolutely nothing changes. If you are a kennel partner, then you need to have two judges. This is something that I don't see what the harm is. Honestly, if you're putting on a hunt, your kennel partner shouldn't be running in it anyway. Your family shouldn't be running it. They should be the ones helping you more. And we'll talk about some of that later. But this shouldn't even be an issue. So I don't know why there was so much negativity towards the Masters for making sure that everybody was aware of this situation. So for everybody that was complaining and griping and saying this is crap and thinking that the Masters was only thinking about themselves, y'all need a reality check. I'm sorry. And I don't mean to be rude, and I ain't calling nobody out in particular, but good gosh, man. We can't have this attitude of leave it alone. If you had this attitude, then people would find ways to manipulate the system and cheat, and people are going to say, oh, a cheater's going to cheat anyway. Yes, but if rules are in play, there's nothing that can be said. If you go to a hunt, if this rule was not in play and you go to a hunt and Billy Bob is putting in the scores and his brother Billy Joe goes out and wins the hunt by 300 points, you're going to have a feeling that maybe something ain't right. Maybe they just got a bad unit, you know? But something's going to kind of give you a little bit of a sore feeling about Billy Bob's brother, Billy Joe, going out there and actually smoking the field, or Billy Joe having 5 dogs and 4 of them are in the top 5, and the 5th one's 7th. You know, something's not going to feel right. So these rules are in play so that if those situations arise, now you can protest it, you can call the Master Hounds to attention, you can call the association to attention, or you can call the Masters to the attention of it. And they can dig into it, dive into it, and they have a rule that they can go back on and say, hey, you broke this rule, pack your stuff and leave. Don't ever come back, you know? I don't understand when somebody tries to improve something and make something better and make it fair for everybody, why it's negativity behind it. It's never made sense to me. So hats off to you, Masters. Thank you for keeping up with the times. Thank you for constantly trying to make a better situation for us and for the hunters. So I wanted to talk about that for a few seconds before we get into the rest of the topic. We're going to take a quick second and pause this episode and talk about our partners over at Elite Nutrition. Our hounds, they're athletes, guys. They give us their all each and every time that they're casted. Elite Nutrition offers an all-natural products to give your dogs the natural benefits they deserve. From the canine remove and all-natural wormer to the Electro Boost paste for an electrolyte replenishment, body fluid balance, and blood flow improvement. They also have products like Active Dog Powder for recovery and joint muscle support, Essential Dog Powder for daily vitamins and minerals, probiotics, prebiotics, and enzymes, and then the Canine Lactate Powder for nursing dogs to help with milk supply. There are tons of other products for y'all to check out at CajunLights.com. Then click on the Elite Nutrition section to explore. When you go check out, only at CajunLights.com, use the code HTElite10 to receive 10% off your Elite Nutrition products. Again, that's HTELITE, the number 10, to receive 10% off Elite Nutrition products only via CajunLights.com. I've been using their products over the past couple months, and I could not be happier with the results. See for yourself today, and we want to thank Elite Nutrition for taking a step forward into this field trial sport. Now, let's get back to the episode, guys. What I'm going to call this episode is...
Welcome, everybody, to the Hounds
podcast. This is your home for field trialing and deer dog hunting. What I'm going to call this episode, I'm going to call it
stories and discussions
Kicking
on the
it
world
old
of
school.
dog hunting. So let's drop the gate.
And what I mean by
cast your
that
hounds,
is...
and get ready for another episode of the Hounds Tales podcast.
I think that we need to revisit some of the older ways that things were done. Yes, there are ways that things were done that don't need to be revisited. You know, we've improved a lot on health care. We've improved a lot on living conditions. We've improved a lot on a lot of things in this sport, and that goes for the outside woods, the fox pen, it doesn't matter. There are a lot of things that have really helped the sport not only survive, but make it better for everybody. But there are things that I feel like have been lost in that transition from old school to new school, quote unquote. And I'd say one of the biggest ones, and this is one I hear about, especially from a lot of pen owners. If I'm talking to a pen owner, this is the one thing that absolutely drives me insane. And don't get me wrong, there are some times where if I'm pleasure running and I go out there and I may kick my feet up and take me a nap for a little bit, especially in a fox pen. Or if it's a big, wide open coyote pen and you got to rerun it at night, maybe you nod your head off for a few minutes. I understand that. That's, I'm not gonna knock you. But where I'm getting at with this is, if you look at the guys that are winning hunts, if you look at the people that are constantly, every time they go, they're bringing some kind of heat. They're bringing great dogs. I would be willing to bet that over 80% of those guys are watching their dogs for at least a little bit every time they run. Every time they run. One of the biggest complaints I hear from pen owners is that guys won't watch their dogs anymore. They sit back on a chair up by the front gate and looking at the screen and saying, man, that dog is doing something out there. You don't know what that dog is doing. You ain't got a clue. You're looking at a screen. It's like a data analysis for your company that doesn't know what the real world is. These older generations that are trying to teach us something, that tried to teach by example, do you think that they dropped their dogs off and went home and said, screw it, I'll come back when I come back, and whatever that dog's last dog stand is my best dog? Or, yeah, that dog was digging at the 6-hour mark. I bet he's a good dog. You don't know what he was doing for the first 5 hours. That dog could have been up there laying in, basking in the sun, upside down and playing around in the water. Who knows? You don't know what he was doing. Maybe he crawled in a hole and took a nap for a little while and come back out and said, all right, I'm going to go drag y'all around for a little bit now. Excuse me. These are all things that is a few things that I just wanted to hit, that I hope that if there are younger generations, and I'm not an older generation by no means. I don't consider myself the old generation, but I also don't consider myself the younger generation. I feel like I'm stuck somewhere in the middle. And you can look at the guys that are coming up my age, or the guys that have been in it, and you can blame it on, they've been doing it since they were knee-high to a duck. They've been doing it with this guy for so long, and they got handed all these dogs. No, they did not get handed dogs. They got dogs that they were taught on how to watch the dogs. They were taught on how to notice what dogs are doing. They're brutally honest with their own selves on, if a dog is trash, a dog is trash. And it's a very difficult thing to accept sometimes. You got puppies, you put puppies on the ground, especially if it's your cross on both sides, and you're like, man, I really got high hopes for these. And you take them out in the pen, and they suck. They're awful. But you trick yourself into constantly telling yourself that, man, these dogs are it right here. These dogs are going to do fine. Then you go to a hunt and get your tail waxed, and you can't figure out why. Stay brutally honest with each other. That's something that the old heads, the older generation above us, I think, just excelled in. There was no sugarcoating anything. There was no sugarcoating if a dog was good. If your buddy's dog sucked, you made sure you gave him crap about it enough to where he said, I ain't keeping that around. I ain't going to get made fun of next time I go out. I've seen it way too much, and that goes out for the deer woods and the fox pen. You got guys that, I don't know. Even if you look at the deer woods, I don't know what happened to everybody getting up on a Saturday evening or a Saturday morning and going and turning out dogs loose and enjoying the company and learning each other. Man, I tell you what, man, when I was a kid, it was something to just, even if you only did it a handful of times throughout the year, 3-4 times at the most, that was still a time that y'all could all get together and learn each other, learn how each other talked, learn how each other moved. Deer hunting, outside hunting, whatever you want to call it, is such a team sport. Learning each other and how you make your moves, how you make your calls is a game changer. Plus, you're also putting ground time on your dogs. You're not doing nothing but helping them, making them better. I don't know where we lost that. I know it's a busy world, and I think that puts a lot of it. But I don't know. I see too many people not really paying attention to the dogs. They'd rather watch the GPS. They'd rather leave the GPS plugged up to the long range for 5 hours and turn around and say, daggone, man, my dog put up 35 miles and had an average speed of 12.2. That's got to be a good dog right there. You don't know. You have no idea. You can't catch one crossing and he's leading one crossing and say, oh man, that dog's a unit. That dog is a unit right there. I don't want, no, you're not going to tell it by one crossing. You're not going to tell it by one cross. You need weeks of watching this dog, seeing how he performs, finding out if he's consistent. And don't be afraid to cull. Cull down, move your dogs, find the deer hunter that wants dogs that will do better. Heck, I just sold a dog, and this dog at my lots was a shy, uneager, had no intentions on going hunting, didn't get excited about going hunting for nothing. Now, when you dropped the box, he got the business and went on down his way, so I had no issues selling him as a running dog. Well, the person that I sold him to just changed up his living environment, put him with different dogs, and the dog now wants to break the gate down to go out inside and hunt. Sometimes a different living situation will change that and make a dog be better. It's just some certain things, guys. I just hope that maybe if there's some takeaways from this, that's some of the things you listen. And another one is just be selfless. I seen a post earlier about, in the grand scheme of things, is why is it so daggone hard to get judges? And I feel like we've beaten this horse through and through to the brink of death. And I wish there was something. Excuse me. I wish there was a way that we could make some kind of mandate on you have to get out there and judge something. And maybe that's something that can be done. We have, Madison Leggett and whoever else is keeping track of the points this year. That's a whole nother job for those guys. They don't get the credit that they deserve on how much work it takes to do that. I mean, you're talking over the course of the year, hundreds of hunts that you got to input data from and do it correctly. And it's just, that's a lot of work. So, I've always seen the thought of the mandate to run and versus judge, or earn, pretty much like a earn a buck program, earn a hunt program. You have to judge something to be able to run in something, which I'm all for. I think if there was a way to keep track of it, and I think if there could be, I really think I could probably come up with a system to make it work. But it would have to be within the association, whatever association decided to adopt it. You could have that person as your job is take your list of judges. Each hunt has to submit their judges, and those judges will earn a hunt. And and you have to have somebody that keeps track of all the hunters entered. You know, man, it would take a lot of work. It would take a lot of orchestrating them. It is something that I would love to see tried, to hold people accountable. But it's honestly, and that's where that old school mentality is be selfless. Go out and hunt those, help these hunts, judge. I don't quite understand the selfishness of never wanting to help judge a hunt. I swear, sometimes I enjoy judging more than I do running. Call it a fault, call it whatever you want to, but I know when I get done judging and the end of the day is over and we've checked scores and there's nothing left to do, guess what? I get to go to the freaking hotel and take a nap. While the hunters are out there having to prep dogs for day 2 or day 3. I'm going back to the daggone hotel. If we're going to chill, then we're going to get some good grub. That's what I'm doing. And no, I ain't charging the association nothing. So, I don't know. That's just keep that in mind, guys. I know I'm beating a dead horse here, but maybe somebody will take some heed to that. And guys, another thing with that too, and this will be my last kind of note right here. We'll make this a short episode. If you ask if you ask to judge and you get denied, especially if it's a 3-day hunt, especially if you're new to the sport, don't take that as an insult. Ask them what you need to do to be able to judge. Ask them, say, what are you looking for to where I can be qualified to come judge? And don't think that you're going to come in and just automatically judge a 3-day. You need to get some 1 days under your belt and see how it's done, get used to the flow of things, and really see how kind of things work, and then step it up to the 3-day world. Get some education under you. Get some learning experience. So that's, man, I hope y'all can take some of that away. Just try to remember this sport across the board is never going to survive if you're only thinking about yourself. Think about others. Think about helping keep this thing going, and let's make a change. Let's make a change for the better. So, like I said, we're going to do short and sweet this week, guys. We're going to jump right into the Spotlight presented by Cajun Lights, and we're going to talk about a few of these hunts. It's now time for the Spotlight presented by Cajun Lights. This is where each week we will recognize winners and other accomplishments across the field trial world. Now let's shine a light on these guys and these dogs, and let's get to this week's winners. All right, so we only had 2 hunts that I really kind of caught wind of. The buggy hunt was at Farside Cody Pen. The winner of that hunt was Bad Weather Lemon Drop, and that dog was a Red Hill Wallace and a Red Hill Mountain Dew from the Highwaymen Kennels. And so the buggy from the Farside Cody Pen is going back to Florida. Congrats down there, guys. That's one that I'd like to try to go to. Maybe one of these years I'll have something worth going down there for. But hats off to y'all. Really neat and see it go that way. Finally stopped Virginia from sweeping all these buggy and truck hunts and all that stuff. But I know Chad Leggett and them's buggy and truck hunt is this weekend coming up down here at 95. I went last year when it was just the buggy hunt, and man, I enjoyed myself. And if I thought I had something that can go down there and actually compete, I'd have gone again, but I know I won't ready for it. So maybe another year. I need Chad to go ahead and just make it a 3-day so we can run some big dogs. Come on, Chad. But all right, last one, guys, is the Canadian Open at the I hope I say this name right, Malin Fox Pen. Or Coyote Pen, Wolf Pen. I'm not sure what the technical name of it is up there, but the dual champion from that hunt, and Lord, bear with me on this. Lobopines Toral YNN is the dog's name. That dog's out of Lobopines Wild Man and TOC's Good Time. The owner of that dog was Roger Martin. And the field champion was Cabana's Buzz. The dogs out of Martin's Oliver and Martin's LOL. From Mark Soph and Bianca Cabana. Cabana. I'm sorry. I don't know what it is up there, but congratulations to everybody that plays this weekend. Good luck to everybody down there at 95 this weekend for the 2-day derby. I will be watching that one pretty intently. So good luck to everybody, and I definitely appreciate y'all listening, guys. Sorry we've been a little short on guests here this year. I've stretched myself thin. I'm going to flat out admit it. I've stretched myself thin. I do apologize. I know the quality of this thing has gone down, but I'm going to try to work on fixing that. I may have to kind of limp along this year, but we're going to try to be a little bit better as we go on. But all right, guys, thank y'all so much. We will catch y'all next week, and if y'all are coming to the first round, we will see y'all down there, and good luck, everybody. And like always, guys, happy hunting.